Hey, what's up, guys and girls? Welcome back to another episode of College Ball with J Dog. Got a big show lined up for you today. Might be a long one. First thing I need y'all to do is do that YouTube stuff for me, the like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. So if you could take a second and do that for me, it really helps me out. It helps get the content out. All right, boys and girls, we got 32 days, y'all. Tomorrow will be 1 month exactly till we're kicking off. 25 if you count Kansas State and Iowa State. Personally, I'll be tuned in. I know there's a couple of other games that day, but it's a bunch of scrubs. But nonetheless, we got Power 4 football in 25 days. Can't wait. We got DJ Lagway injury to go over. We got conference strength of schedule to go over. And we got Blue Carter update, Heupel press conference notes. It's going to be a packed one. So let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. First thing up, DJ Lagway update. If you go back in my videos, I talked about Lagway. Apparently, he's been dealing with the injury all off season. It's not 100% fact that he'll be healthy for the season. So today, Florida quarterback, this is ESPN. DJ Lagway will open fall camp in the same spot he had spent spring practice, watching from the sidelines. Lagway is dealing with the calf strain and wearing a walking boot. Napier said it's not ideal. In a perfect world, he'd be perfect every day of the off season. I think the good thing is his attitude towards it. I think that's a positive. He's in year 2. I think he understands what's required to be ready. It's not ideal. But I think ultimately we'll come up with the best plan we can to have him ready. So there's rumors all offseason that Lagway could not be ready till mid-season. Florida kept downplaying it. Here we are kicking off fall camp, and Lagway is still not ready to go. Napier obviously didn't sound that positive about it. I'm not saying he ain't going to be healthy to start the season, but I think there's a little more going on than Florida's letting on. And that has been the rumor behind the scenes. So the more we learn, the more we'll talk about it. I just want to let y'all know that's a big blow to Florida. I mean, obviously, that's why everybody's got higher expectations for Florida this year because they think Lagway's that good. So, I don't know. I think it's kind of doom and gloom for him. Obviously, I hope he gets to play. At the end of the day, they're 18, 22-year-olds. So, be cool if he gets to play. But I still hope they lose every game because it's Florida. And their backup, by the way, Harrison Bailey. If you know Harrison Bailey, he was a 5-star recruit at one time, got dropped down to a 4-star. He come to Tennessee, never worked out. Then he ended up at UNLV, and he's at Louisville last year. He's basically a portal abuser. Never quite lived up to his potential. I think his numbers are kind of skewed from the offense he played in high school or something because he never really had that strong of an arm. He did look good at times when he got to play for Tennessee. It wasn't a lot, but the limited time he got, he did look pretty decent. So it's possible if Lagway don't get healthy, Harrison Barnes will get one of those full circle moments and get to play Tennessee, which I'm all for. We're going to move right along to the conference strength of schedule. This is from CBS Sports. We're going to start at the bottom, work our way to the top. Number 16, Missouri. Missouri's a challenge for 10 wins with this schedule. Don't see how it happened. We went over their schedule. I think they went 7 or 8. They don't play a road game until October 18th at Auburn and face at least 3 SEC teams likely to finish in the bottom half of the standings. Non-conference slate. their biggest non-conference games, Kansas. So they could definitely get to the 7-8 wins. I don't see them getting more than that just because I don't think they got the talent they had the year they got 10, 11 wins, beat Ohio State in the bowl game. 15, Tennessee. Okay, any team that's got, is their schedule the hardest in the conference? Absolutely not. But if you're playing Bama and Georgia every single year, you should never be this far down the list. That's my personal opinion. Might Tennessee be a playoff team once again if the Volunteers take care of business at home and split road games against Bama and Florida. They'll have a clear runway. The season opener against Syracuse is severely underrated on the national scene. Trips to Mississippi State and Kentucky are laughers. Getting Arkansas and Vanderbilt at home should be easy with the circle of the week 3 matchup against Georgia at home. When I went over our schedule, I said that if we end up beating Georgia, I think we'll get to 10 wins. If we don't beat Georgia, we probably end up at 9. But you never know. It could start coming together as season went on. That's just my opinion on that. But us at 15, I think it's crazy. We should be at least in the 7 to 10 range just based off of where we're at with Georgia and Bama. I mean, you play them 2 every year. That should make your strength of schedule never be second to last in the conference. No matter who else you play, you should never be that far down just based off of that, in my opinion. I mean, that's 2 of the best teams in the conference every year, have been the 2 best teams in the conference for Lord knows how long. So I've got my things mixed up here. So we're 15th, Missouri 16th. Now here's 14 through 12. We got Georgia at 14. Any schedule with Alabama, Tennessee, and Texas is difficult. See, that's crazy. I don't care who Georgia plays the rest of the year. They play us, Alabama, and Texas. There's no way they got the freaking 14th best conference schedule in the conference. When you got them 3 on your schedule, there's no way you're that low. Bulldogs travel only to Tennessee, Auburn, and Mississippi State because they play Florida and Jacksonville. It's a neutral site game. Still, I don't care. Pretty sure they got Ole Miss this year, too. I mean, Georgia Tech's tough if they in a conference game. South Carolina at 13. You gotta love the spacing on the schedule. If you're Shane Beaman, only back-to-back road games are in November against Ole Miss, Texas A&M. Ole Miss, Texas A&M. Lord, that's pretty rough back-to-back road games, y'all. Now, those opponents are separated by an open date, which you like that, obviously. Gamecocks get past Mizzou on September 20th. Quarterback North Sellers will be an early Heisman Trophy list with a 5-0 record. I mean, they might get to 5-0. Then they got LSU, A&M, Alabama, Ole Miss, Oklahoma. Dang, who made this list, Joe? Ole Miss at number 12. Ole Miss might be the biggest wild card in the college football playoff race. Schedules was navigable, even if an immense amount of talent must be replaced from last year's 3-loss team. Most difficult stretch in schedule is October. Back-to-back road trips to Georgia and Oklahoma before hosting South Carolina. The Rebels face LSU and Florida. I mean, I get it. Somebody's got to be ranked down in this conference. That the ones I can't agree with so far is Georgia and us. I mean, Georgia's got us, Bama, and Texas, and you got them ranked 14th in the conference. I mean, that's absolutely crazy work. Moving right along here. Number 12, we know that Ole Miss, 11, Auburn. Auburn's schedule is never easy with Alabama and Georgia permanently. But both come to Auburn this season with an abundance of talent at return that receiver and former blue chip prospect quarterback Oklahoma transfer Jackson Arnold. This is the year he frees challenge 10 wins. No, it's not. Not with Jackson Arnold. Baylor's a tough out conference game. Road trips to Texas, Oklahoma. I mean, they're probably scheduled about right. I'm not a believer in Jackson Arnold, so therefore I don't think Auburn gets to more than 7 or 8 wins, I think was what I said when I went over them. Alabama 10, believe it or not, the pressure's on Kalen Board to deliver a 10-win season. Yeah, he took over for Saban. When you follow a legend, that's kind of the standard. They don't like to drop off. They start Florida State. I think that game ain't going to let you know much about them. They're going to out-talent, outclass, and probably outcoach Florida State. Then they got Georgia, Missouri, South Carolina, Oklahoma, Tennessee coming, and Wisconsin, LSU. They got a lot of their tough games at home. And I can deal with them being ranked 11th, even though all their really hard games are mostly at home. That's part of it. I ain't got much to argue with there. Up next, you got number 9, Kentucky. Kentucky knows all too well how mediocre quarterbacks can get you beat and beat badly in the SEC. Mark Stoops is betting on veteran transfer Zach Calzada to fix the Wildcats. Woes under center. Boy, you better show something that we haven't quite seen from the Wildcats to get back on the right track. I don't see it happening. They got trips to South Carolina, Georgia, Vanderbilt, Auburn, and Louisville, and that's just the road games. They still play Ole Miss, Texas, and us. Yeah, I can see theirs being ranked where they're at. Texas is at 8. Texas doesn't ease into the schedule like many and opens the season with on the road against reigning national champs Ohio State. Yeah, but that don't count against conference. That shouldn't go into their strength schedule in conference. What follows is a trio of pushovers for the SEC schedule on the road against Florida. Longhorns favoring every SEC game other than a trip to Georgia, but that doesn't mean the schedule is easy. And got Kentucky, Mississippi State, Florida, Kentucky. Yeah, Texas rate too high. It's like they brought up the Ohio State game. And that's not a conference game, so that shouldn't have any bearing on their conference strength of schedule. They got a pretty easy schedule compared to someone like Oklahoma. Well, Oklahoma got through to the ringer their first year. Texas got an easier schedule. It's the same this year. That schedules are just flipped this year. LSU is 7. Brian Kelly's 7-year streak of 10-win seasons ending in 2024. But he's built a team capable of starting a new run. LSU's lost 5 straight season openers. They start with Clemson, so that's irrelevant for the conference. They got Florida and Ole Miss, trips to, with the trip to Oxford on docket. Meanwhile, trips to Alabama, Oklahoma away later in the season. Visit Vandy after hosting South Carolina. Yeah, I don't know. I think they should be rated a little lower. Texas A&M schedule includes 3 straight games against Arkansas, LSU, Missouri. So LSU, they got Notre Dame. That don't matter for this ranking. Auburn, no. Texas A&M should not be up there. I know they play Texas, but from what this read right there, they're not even top 10 strength schedule, in my opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Florida may have played the toughest schedule in the country in 2024. It was, if not, it was at least top 2 or 3. I think it was toughest in my honest opinion. It's not no cakewalk this year. Back September road trips to LSU and Miami. LSU is the only one that counts for this ranking. Napier needs to get Florida back to that 9 or 10 win mark, even against schedule, to remain relevant. No doubt he'll show whether he can do that by mid-season. 3-game stretch with LSU, Miami, Texas. And Texas is after a bye week still will likely determine whether Napier is still the coach in 2026. Trips to Texas A&M, Ole Miss on the docket, then Tennessee and Florida State at home. Yeah, I think Florida should probably be ranked a little higher than 5 in conference, to be honest. I know the road at the Miami trip don't matter as far as on the road goes. That's in a tough conference schedule too. Just adding Miami to it makes it even worse. Number 4, we got Oklahoma. Believe it or not, the schedule is manageable heading into November, but that's when the road gets bumpy. Sooners travel Tennessee and Alabama before finishing the year against Missouri, LSU. They play Michigan week 2. Sooners play only one game on the road in the first 5 weeks at Temple. Why would Oklahoma go to Temple to play a game? Don't ever go on the road. When you're as good of a school as Oklahoma, you don't ever go on the road to a team like Temple. They get Auburn, Kent State. We're traveling Dallas, take on Texas. There ain't legitimately difficult matchups. And 3 are on the road: South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama. Now, they got a pretty tough one with Texas, Tennessee, Alabama, LSU. I ain't going to argue with that one. Number 3, we got Arkansas. Sam Pittman's on the hot seat. Of course he is. The head coach in waiting is offensive coordinator, Bobby Petrino. I'm telling you, if Pittman gets fired this year, there won't be no coaching search. Petrino will be named head coach. Let's see. Should probably be enough. Reaching a bowl against this schedule should be enough to keep his job. Ain't no way. He's got to get to at least 7. Arkansas got too much pride for a bowl game to let you keep your job after you're in year 4 or 5. I mean, the easiest game on schedule is Arkansas State. That carries significance because Razorbacks have never played the Redwoods after previous administrations refused to schedule them. What's that got to do with anything? That game's not going to carry any weight with their fans if they win it. I mean, Butch Jones is the coach at Arkansas State. You better win it. You better win it. Have Butch Jones crying like he was when they was down 70-0 against Oklahoma a couple years ago. Let's see here. Razorbacks, blah, blah. Dare we say losing Little Rock? I mean, come on. They're not going to lose that. If they do, he'll be fired the next day. They play Notre Dame. Don't matter. Memphis. SEC. The Hogs travel to Ole Miss, Tennessee, LSU. Rival Texas. Yeah, they got a pretty rough one too, y'all. Can't argue with them being top 5. Our last little slide for the conference strength of schedule. Let's go. Number 2 and number 1. We got number 2, Mississippi State. Damn, that's tough for Jeff Levy, y'all, because he lost a lot of talent. He does return his quarterback, but I think the freshman that they lost to LSU, Van Buren, going to be the backup at LSU this year and take over as a starter after this year. I think he was very talented. He was a true freshman last year, and he looked good against Texas. Looked pretty decent against Tennessee. So, I mean, for you to have one of the most difficult schedules on top of the talent he's got, I don't know if he can make it to year 2 or 3 or not. They went 0-8 in the conference last year. The schedule in year 2 is probably more difficult. The Bulldogs face 4 college football playoff teams from a year ago. The highest total in the country. Must travel to Florida. Texas A&M and Missouri. Mississippi State is more talented this fall with that schedule. I don't know if they're more talented or not. They lost a lot of talent. Now the portal giveth and the portal taketh away. Kind of like the good Lord does, but I don't know. They still got Arkansas, Missouri, Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, Arizona State. Whew. Vandy, number 1. They're going to run Tennessee, though, after this year, y'all, with the number 1 toughest SEC strength of schedule. Vandy hits the road to face 4 top 15 teams. Texas, Alabama. Commodores might just have to buckle under the stress of the SEC's most difficult slate. I'm not sure what Vanderbilt was thinking, scheduling its 3 easiest games in the first month of the season: Charleston Southern, Georgia State, Utah State. The back half of the schedule is brutal, with no breathing room or lower tier opponent, providing a break from the likes of Alabama, LSU, Texas, Tennessee. Shoo-wee. Now we're Florida, probably up there for the #1 conference schedule. I think Tennessee's a little low. I mean, I'd have us in the 7-10 range. Everybody's schedule in the SEC's hard. I mean, that's all there is to it. From top to bottom, it's the hardest conference they are. The Big 12 is probably the one that every Saturday anybody can beat anybody because they don't recruit that well. So they're all kind of bunched up there, and they're not really got a national title contender, but they got from top to bottom, Kansas State, Iowa State, Arizona State, they could lose to any team in that conference every Saturday. I mean, that's just all there is to it. If you like good football, it's not necessarily watching title contenders or teams that's going to have a bunch of guys drafted. Big 12 is awesome to watch. But from top to bottom, for title contenders and teams that can beat you every Saturday, the SEC is the best. I'd say Big 10's second. They're closing the gap, but I don't think they'll ever close it completely. Last but not least, we're going to go over the Boo Carter update Heupel gave, and we're going to go over some notes on his press conference, y'all. He started off straight up. I know at some point I'm going to get a question about Boo, so I'm going to address that right now. Boo's part of our team here. There's some things that he's got to accomplish to get back on the field with us. Don't have a set timeline on that. Our leadership council has been a part of these things. Those discussions with me and with Boo, I'm proud of what they've done. They care and love Boo and want him to be his best here. And through this, I think Boo sees as well, at the end of the day, us collectively continuing to grow here through the course of training camp, I will be the one that will handle taking questions about Boo, and that's for today and throughout camp. But proud of how our team has handled those things, and ultimately we handle those things internally. I'm not going to get into details on everything. What I take from that is Boo is on the team, obviously. He's got a lot of stuff he's got to do to keep his spot on the team, to get back in the good graces of his teammates, and to lock down a starting spot. I don't know if he'll get suspended in games, but I think he's got a lot of extra work to do to make up for what he missed and just get back on the good graces of his teammates. So I think if he does it all, he'll get back into good graces. There won't be no problems for starting the season. I'm pretty sure Heupel's made it hard on him to see how bad he really wants to be here and how much he wants to play football. And I don't blame him. I think his teammates have a say in it. And I hope they try to make it hard on him too for him letting them down this summer. So I'm sure we're probably not going to give me updates on what he's got to do or anything, but if I had to guess, he'll handle his business. He'll be on the field first game. Heupel said he's excited to roll. You guys are going to get a chance to hear from some of our staff and players today. Everybody in the building is ready to go. If you want to hear the players or the assistant coaches, just pull it up on YouTube. I'm not going to go over all that. That's a lot to go over. The dialogue he's had with Boo Carter and how he handles Tennessee players missing off-season workouts. At the end of the day, it's a requirement to be here, be part of what we're doing. There's a lot of information out there, out in the world. Some of it's correct, some of it is not. I'm not going to address everything over the last week. Disappointed with how some of the things were handled. At the end of the day, we have conversations. What does it look like moving forward? And that's all parts, our leadership council, Boo, our staff. It's not about what yesterday was. It's about today. And we'll see as we continue to progress where that leads us. So basically what I just went over, I think what I said is pretty accurate. I think he's got a lot to prove. He's got a lot to do. Get back on the good graces of his teammates and the coaching staff, which is good. But if he does anything like that again, I mean, he's out the door. You can bank on that. He's going to get shit canned. And honestly, if he does end up getting kicked off team, he'd probably end up at Colorado or Michigan, probably Colorado. I think he's here for the long run now. I think he's finally got his stuff figured out. He's got a new agent. He realized he's let his team down. I think him coming to apologizing shows a little maturity out of all the immature stuff he's done so far. Let's hope I'm right on that. They asked if he had to talk to Buchard for Tuesday, if they had talked over last week. Yes, I have. Parts of last week. Yes, I'm not saying every day, but yes. If he always consults with Tennessee's leadership council when he's making a decision on the status of a player. I think always is probably a stronger word than I would say. Always, my wife would tell you, would get into trouble. I think each situation is unique, and I think in leadership it's important that you step back and try to look at it from different angles as well. So he takes what they got to say to heart, but he also knows they can't have the voice, the final say in things. He's the coach. So I think his teammates, honestly, I think they maybe didn't want him back. I mean, from the sounds of things, the way it went, I think Boo's really got to win his teammates over to keep his spot on this team and get a starting spot. That's just what I'm taking from these conversations. The guys on team chemistry, while the guys on the leadership council, I know it's true in the locker room too. They care about the person, care and love for him, want him to be his best. I think that starts in life through the conversations we've had with him. Then that parlays itself on the football side of things. So I'm not worried about the chemistry. At the end of the day, we have standards that we all have to meet. That's everybody in the building. When somebody fails that, whether they get another chance or not, each situation is different. But ultimately, Boo's got to meet those standards here. So basically gets back to what I was talking about. I mean, I was pissed. I don't blame him. Boo's got a lot to make up for. Hopefully he does it. What he wants to see from his team in fall camp, I'm not sure how many days it is until kickoff, but it's going to approach fast. Where our feet are at, I think it's, let's get to my next little slide here. I think it's the right one. Work with me here. I skipped that one, y'all. Basically, he wants everybody to come every day, be better every day, is what he said. You know, come every day prepared, give it all you got. That way, when the season gets here, and it's going to come fast, and it will, you just got to give it all you every day and get 1% better every day. That's Josh Heupel coach speak. I mean, that's all you're going to get from Heupel. If his preferred timeline for Tennessee's quarterback battle, if he would prefer it to be sooner rather than later, yeah, sure, absolutely. Of course, you want it to be sooner rather than later. So that you got one guy taking reps with the ones, they get more chemistry. That gives you more time to build continuity, whatever it might be. But at the end of the day, I think it's really important you guys heard me say that SEC Media Day that somebody's got to go earn it. It's not in one throw. It's not all in one day. It's consistency, who you are, growth. I think it's important for the staff sees that. Most importantly, I think let your players see it as well. Basically, like I said, coach speak from Heupel as usual. I mean, go out there and earn it. Do it every day, and you'll be a starting quarterback. I mean, how much you want to see Tennessee's quarterback having a competitive mindset with one another? Thinks that's important. They're competitive with themselves first and foremost. Are you competing with the guys in the room? Absolutely. You know how that drives you on a day-to-day basis. I think it's an important thing. That's true June, July, and will be true during the course of training camp. I think it's really important that collectively you do it the right manner when you're helping, encouraging, supporting each other, too, in a positive way. Basically, he wants them competing. He wants them all wanting to win starting job, but he wants them to be buddies and help each other as well, just for chemistry on the team. And look, you're not always, I mean, just because you end up being a starter don't mean you'll be a starter all year. You can get injured. You can play bad. Number 2 and number 3, you have to be ready. We seen it last year when Nico go out and Gaston Moore had to come in, and he slung a freaking interception first play against Alabama. I mean, you got to be ready no matter if you're second string, third string. That's basically what Hopper was saying there. Keep clicking the same clip. Sorry about that. Me personally, while we're sitting here, I think it's going to be Aguilar, Merklinger, McIntyre in that order. I do think it's possible as the season goes on for McIntyre to close the gap on Merklinger. Because if you're going straight off of arm talent, McIntyre's got the most on the team. But as we've seen a million times, that's not all it goes into being a quarterback. You got to be smart. You got to make fast decisions. You got to be able to read defenses. You got to be able to put the ball accurately. Accuracy is more important to me than arm strength. Not always that way with the NFL teams. They'll draft somebody based off of arm strength, and it gets them nowhere. He's going over his quarterbacks here: George, Joey, and Merck. All 3 of these guys have done an elite job competing, pushing each other throughout the course of the summer. They've grown. They're at different stages in their careers as far as eligibility, years on task inside of our program, what we're doing offensively. They've helped each other through the journey of the summer, and I think that's going to be important as we get in training camp too. Like I said, for this year, I really think it's going to be Aguilar, Merklinger, McIntyre. But I really think next year that McIntyre could take that job from Merklinger. I mean, McIntyre, but now Merklinger, he's a decently athletic kid. He's accurate. He's smart. I mean, you never know. I mean, just because McIntyre's more talented doesn't always mean you're going to be a starter. I think we'll have another fun quarterback battle next year. And then Faison Brandon will be a freshman next year. And the year after that, I mean, it's wide open. I mean, we got literally McIntyre was a 5-star and got dropped because he didn't go to camps. So you got McIntyre, Brandon, Faison Brandon, and Merklinger all competing. Somebody ended up transferring. Honestly, in my opinion, think it will be Merklinger. That's the odd man out, just based off of the other 2 having so much talent. But you never know. I mean, look at Stetson Bennett. He was literally competing against 5-star quarterbacks at Georgia every year and kept his job. So, I mean, it's not always about the stars. He was a freaking walk-on, and he started for 2 championship games. I mean, sometimes it's just about managing the game, making throws, and take care of the football. Sometimes the talented kids can't do that. It says, wanting to know if he's going to pick a center basically based off experience. I don't think I ever solely look at experience of the player. Otherwise, your young guys are never going to get an opportunity to get any experience. The ability to communicate at a really high level, get all 5 guys on the same page, pass protection, run game. The ability to snap it accurately and efficiently. The ability to play with fundamental technique. At the end of the day, offensive line, your center. But you got to get the best 5 guys on the field that are going to operate as one. And that's what you got an opportunity to do. And we got competition. I'm looking forward to see how that unfolds as we get started. Center is a very, very underrated position on the football field, y'all. They're not just snapping the ball. They're looking, seeing what the blitz is, seeing that they're blitzing, trying to figure out if they're going to stunt, trying to figure out this. They got to relay it to the other lineman. They got to hear the quarterback. They got to remember the snap count. I mean, center is a very hard position, and Cooper May's done it for the last 4 years. I think William Satterwright will end up winning the center spot, but I'm sure Hop will give it to the best person they are. Where Tennessee offensive tackle Les Hurd is physically compared to last year, his value as the only returning starter. Lance Hurd was battling nagging injuries last year. I mean, Lance Hurd was literally number 2 or 3 offensive tackle in the country coming out of high school. He's a 5-star. He played some at LSU. He's behind freaking number 4 or 5 overall pick in the draft this year. They transferred here last year. And like I say, he dealt with injuries, struggled adjusting to the tempo because of injuries, and he was out a lot of fall camp. So he never got up to speed. I think this year he really takes off. We got 2 5-star tackles on the outside. That's going to make a huge difference in the passing game and the quarterback having time. And Joey Aguilar having more pocket presence, knowing when to escape the pocket, when not to, making a play. I think the offense is really going to be better this year. You can say I've got orange-colored glasses on, whatever. Basically, Apple talked about how he's way further progressed than he was last year. He's in better shape, looks better. He's excited to see him continue to grow on the field and off the field inside of the program. I think Heupel thinks he's going to have a big year just like I do. What he thinks the identity of this Tennessee football team will be by the end of fall camp. Leadership, accountability, and then we get to plan the effort and attitude that we approach every day with, the consistency of ultimately what our fans are going to see on Saturdays. But to do that, you got to be consistent every single day. So that's what I expect from our guys and what I think you're going to get. See, I mean, Heupel's boring. He's not like Lane Kiffin or Mike Gundy. He's not going to give you some big quote to run with and have fun with. I mean, he's going to give you straight coach speak. And that's fine. Basically, the identity of this team will be the same as it did every year. We're going to be a physical running team. We're going to try to hit you deep over the top. When we're running the ball, you have to creep up. We're going to try to hit you over top. Hopefully, Aguilar can hit wide open receivers that Nico couldn't last year or Joe Milton the year before. That's been a huge difference in our offense, y'all. A lot of people think, oh, it's because Alex Golesh left. No, we dialed up wide open receivers all year long the last 2 years. But Joe Milton couldn't hit them, and if Joe Milton did hit them, they dropped them. And then Nico overthrew them last year or underthrew them. The offense hasn't changed. People are getting open. We're just not hitting them. That's what we need Aguilar to be able to do this year for this offense to get back to being 40 points per game, 42 points per game. And really, once you're hitting on deep balls, they have to drop back in coverage, and then you got them. Then when they come back up, you hit them over the top again. Y'all, it's simple football. A lot of people think, oh, it's all because Alex Golesh left. No, it's because Hendon Hooker could hit wide open receivers down the field. Hendon Hooker knew when to escape the pocket and get a first down. That's what we're hoping we get out of Aguilar this year. His confidence in Tennessee's young receivers stepping up. Yeah, young guys don't have time to be young, and that's true. It's been one of the things that we've talked about as a program since we got back in January. Our coaches are responsible for that. Our players are too. Receiver is young, but it's also the most talented it's been since Heupel's been here. We got more 5, 4-star guys than we've had since Heupel's been here. So it could be a strength. It could be a weakness. I think it's going to be a strength, especially Chris Brazel, Mike Matthews, and Braylon Staley. If those guys stay healthy, they're dogs. I mean, they just are. Brazel struggled a little bit last year. I don't think it was all on him. And I think Mike Matthews learned offense, learned what being a college receiver is about, and he's really going to take off this year. I mean, he's literally behind Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State guys. I mean, he's got the athleticism, and I think he's going to show it this year. I think he's going to be one of the best receivers in the country. I really do. Said the guys that are vets inside those position rooms, I really like the guys that we have inside the receiver room. That's athletic traits, playmaking ability, their attention to detail. Excited to see that room continue to grow throughout the course of training camp, and really as the season, as young as guys continue to get better. So basically, a lot of coach speak from Heupel, but also some tidbits. I know everybody been on edge about Boo, so we finally got that answer. Basically, the ball's in Boo's court. He can either do like Stone Cold back in the day. If you watch WWF, they said Stone Cold took his ball and went home after WrestleMania, or he can salvage it, put in the work, and be a main contributor on this team like he was playing to be. That's his options. We'll see which one he does. I think he's going to grab the bull by the horns, as they say, ride that thing through the season, and be one of the best players on this team. The offensive line, we lost 4 out of 5 starters, but I think the offensive line is going to be improved this year. It's more talented, bigger, more athletic. Brought in Wendell Moy. I mean, he's got left guard locked down, or right guard. I think it's going to be left guard besides Let's Hurd. David Sanders is going to start right tackle. He was going to share time with Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson transferred, so he'll be starting, playing most snaps there more than likely. I think Sam Pendleton from Notre Dame will start at right guard. I think Satterwhite starts at center. That's a talented group. David Sanders and Satterwhite will be the first 2 high school guys that Heupel and Ellerby has recruited that starts on the offensive line. I know that's crazy. Literally, the guys that were here before that Pruitt recruited have started and transfers, and that's it. So the talent we've been bringing in offensive lines, only about to get snaps. I like Warren. I like Bennett Warren, Jesse Perry. A lot of these young guys, we got so much talent. Max Anderson. They're going to be redshirt freshmen, sophomores this year, according to if they redshirt or not. So, I mean, the talent's there on the offensive line. I really think from here on out, we're going to have good offensive line after good offensive line after good offensive line. Heupel's built it up to where he can replenish instead of rebuild. That's a big thing Georgia and Alabama, teams like that do. They don't rebuild. They just regroup. I mean, they got so much, but it's hard to keep that much depth now, but I mean, Kirby said it. I mean, Georgia's got like 10 3-stars in this recruiting class. Usually they have like 3 or 4. So talent's getting a little more spread out because they don't want to come sit on the bench for 2 or 3 years like they did before, when they knew if they sat there, they got to play a year or 2, their talent would take over. They're at Georgia. They get Georgia, Alabama, things like that. They're going to get to the NFL. Anyway, now they're going and playing and getting to the NFL. I mean, taking a big paycheck, going to play instead of taking a mediocre paycheck. Mediocre. Someone like us, it'd be a huge paycheck. If you're watching these, you're probably an average Joe like me. Anyway, that's the show for today. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Hope y'all enjoy the content. Anything you agree or disagree with, comment on there, down there, so we can communicate with each other. Make this an interactive podcast show, whatever you want to call it. I want to get y'all involved soon. If y'all keep subscribing and start commenting. And make sure you hit that like button on the way out. Make sure you subscribe on the way out if you're not. And make sure you share with your buddies, your enemies, your mamas, your daddies, your cousins, your step cousin, step brother, step sister. It don't matter. Just share it, y'all. I appreciate you tuning in. As always, go Vols, baby.